Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Untapped Podcast. My name is Jacob Gabel.
And my name is Jacob Wurtz, guys. Welcome to episode 172 of the Untapped Podcast. First of all, thank you for being here with us if it's your first time. Now, we actually have 5 main formats of our show. So first, we have Forging Fortitude episodes. Now, in these episodes, we cover the mental side of our brand. In these ones, we go over our anecdotal experiences with things like mindset and mentality. We then pass on tips and advice to you guys to then apply to your own lives. Next, we have Physical Vitality episodes. Now, in these episodes, we cover the physical side of our brand. In these ones, we really get to showcase our expertise because you have 2 certified personal trainers. So in these Physical Vitality episodes, we cover everything that we offer and can do through our fully custom Untapped training app. So if you have any questions or curiosities about what we can do for you, please reach out to us about that. Now, we also go over everything to do with the gym, workouts, nutrition, diets, supplements, mental toughness programs like 75 Hard, for example. And then at times, we will take trending articles or topics within the fitness industry and give our thoughts and opinions on those, which is kind of what we have for you guys today, in a way. Something to keep in mind about these Physical Vitality episodes, guys, is they are full of free game, so make sure you pay attention.
Yep, beautiful, dude. Yeah, real quick note on the Physical Vitality one. Today will definitely be like an educational / current event type article going on.
And opinion as well.
And opinion. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Guys, on to our third format, though. That is our breaking news format. That is our current event-based format. We touch on current events, current articles going on in today's world. And keep in mind, a lot of the content you see around current events is very doom and gloom. It's the sad aspects of everything, how everything's going in the wrong direction. We're providing solutions so we can avoid going in the wrong direction in these scenarios. Now, on to our fourth format. That is our Knights Table format. That is our masculinity-based format. We touch on things like toxic masculinity, if it's real, what it really is, fatherhood, the impact it's had on all 3 of our lives in here, and male-based topics in general and how important men are to the future of this country in the United States and also the world. Now, keep in mind, I'm 27, Wurtz is 26. Our producer, Mitch, is 25. Because of that reason, we are not coming to you as some all-put-together perfect man. The only perfect man to ever walk this earth is Jesus Christ. Now, on to our 5th format. That is our guest format. We sit down and touch on, we talk to entrepreneurs, fitness professionals, athletes, doctors, anybody with a great story or somebody who brings you value. We learn a lot from those episodes ourselves. So in turn, you guys are also going to learn a lot from those episodes. That was half and half our last episode with Mr. JT Thomas, breaking news and kind of a guest episode, merged a little bit. But yeah, on to our last thing to introduce before the content of the episode, our producer and my brother, Mitchell Gabel.
Hey.
What's up, Mitch?
What's up?
It's the word, dude.
Not much. What about you?
Hitting golf balls last night well? Had a heroin experience at Family Golf.
Very. Yeah.
Because of the teenagers that were better at hitting golf balls than you guys.
Much better. Yeah. Shout out if you guys are listening to the podcast. I mean, somehow. Yeah, like well, maybe they are. Who knows?
Yeah.
But if they are, you guys can hit bombs. I mean, those kids were letting loose some balls.
Golf is one of those sports, I feel like, where you can absolutely tell who's been playing since they were a kid and like plays competitively.
It's very clear.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like obviously, and that's going to be true for any sport, you know, seeing a guy skate or goaltend, maybe seeing a guy on the baseball field or the basketball court or whatever, like you can always tell. But I feel like golf, it's just even more obvious because of those things they can do, like stopping the ball on the green or purposely hitting draws and fades and things like that. And the club control, you know, and they know their distances down to the 1 yard or the half yard, not, I can hit it about 125. No, it's like, I hit it 127. Like, oh.
Oh, you've done this a long time.
You do this.
This is not a game to you.
Right.
What's also interesting about golf too is always the fact that, to me, athleticism plays a part in it, but it's not as big of a part as a lot of other sports. Like you think of going and playing football. If you're fast, you can jump high, and you have good hand-eye coordination, you're pretty much set.
Yeah.
If you're going to play the sport. That's pretty much a guarantee in football, or if you're physically dominant, so to speak.
Yeah, right.
With golf, you have guys that are 150 pounds that can cork the ball 320 yards.
Yeah.
So it's like, the physical dominance of the sport is not. It's not a thing. It's not a part of it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you see very few. Like Bryson's the only guy who's like known to be pretty muscular.
Sure.
Even Tiger for a little bit was jacked too, and
Yeah.
he is now for that matter too.
Yeah.
But it's like that's not why they're good at golf.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's very interesting to me on that aspect of it.
It's the ability to repeat the swing. It's the club control. It's the control in general. It's the tempo.
Mm-hmm.
It's the calmness too. You know, if you're all jacked up and jittery on the tee box, like you're sending that straight into the woods. You know,
AKA me when I first started.
yeah. Or you literally will swing and miss. As funny as that is, like you might swing and miss. You know, but anyway, golf is when you're good at it, man, it's an impressive thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
It is.
Which is why I thoroughly impress myself every time I play.
Just couldn't help the tire pump. Just couldn't help the tire pump.
All right. Well, enough bantering. We do have some business to take care of with Mitch here. This is a part of his contract. You know, he negotiated a new contract with us just a couple weeks ago, and this was a part of it. He was very adamant to get his time to shine early in the episode. And that time is now. Mitch, what you got? Fact of the day.
I don't recall that.
That was like a pro for you. I
recall that.
I wasn't roasting you.
Don't recall that.
Okay.
Don't remember signing the sheet.
Nope. Anywho, sneezing at 60 miles an hour could make you close your eyes for 50 feet. Kind of crazy. So if you sneeze.
So you sneeze, like if you sneeze as fast as 60 miles an hour, your eyes will stay shut for driving 50 feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Which
Kinda
is why
scary,
it's
isn't it?
terrifying to sneeze when you're driving.
Oh,
like
it is.
it makes total sense hearing
Yeah.
that, why that is.
Kind of scary, huh?
Wow.
Especially if you're on the road with Florida truck drivers.
Yeah, no kidding.
Immigrant truck drivers primarily. But, you know.
That's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That is a fact I did not know.
I thought, isn't there like some people, what was the, maybe I'm thinking of it something else. But there were, I don't know why I thought I saw somebody say that sneezing could be up to 90 miles an hour. And I was like, what? I was like, your nose would fly off, I think, if you did that. Like, what in the world? Yeah, I'm like, hell no. Sound like a vet passing or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's so
Right.
funny.
Didn't know you had a NASCAR race coming out
I'm
of
like,
your
if
nose.
you're, if you're sneezing up to 90 miles an hour, I mean, you got to be unleashing that thing.
You know what it is? That's dads sneezing.
Oh, yeah.
Because of how dramatic it is.
Yep.
You know? Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole neighborhood knows that Dave Wurtz just sneezed.
Once my daughter. That's Steve all the way through, 100%. Yeah,
It's about to be you any day now,
yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
When a minute my daughter's here, I'm like that. It's gonna be like, what in the world is wrong with Gable?
I'll be at home. Oh, that was Gable.
Yeah.
That was Gable.
You're the echoes throughout the hills of Missouri.
Oh, man.
Of course, that fact would lead us down
That's
these
crazy.
funny rabbit holes. Oh my
Right.
gosh.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know if we mentioned it or not, but clearly you guys know by now we have a physical vitality episode today for you for episode 172. Pretty badass number right there. Pretty sick.
It is cool to see it.
Yeah.
climb the ladder. You know,
We
what I
are
mean? Yeah.
rapidly approaching 4 years,
Mhm.
which is sweet. Very, very
In
cool.
the next 4 months, 3 months, close to 3 months.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Mm.
But this is somewhat of I'm not going to say hot topic because it's not like currently a trend on social media or anything like that, but it is something that is always kind of being talked about. Probably more so in the bodybuilding community, I would say. Or at least the question gets asked in that community more often. Wouldn't you agree with that? Probably.
I would definitely agree with that.
And that question is fasted workouts. Yes or no, good or bad. Fasted cardio, yes or no, good or bad. And there is some science to both sides of it that we found. Some emphasis on the excuse me, on the some.
Emphasis on the not guaranteed on either side.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. But we're going to take you guys through a couple points here and certainly give our opinions on it as well. And we do have a few, facts to insert as well. But very much so. Sorry, I thought one of our cameras just shut off there. But certainly something that's talked about a lot. There's no doubt. And so I think the place to start for us is benefits of doing it or benefits of not doing it, whether that's cardio or lifting.
Yep. I like that. I would say starting on benefits of doing it fasted
Mm-hmm.
is with lifting. I have noticed a higher focus level when I lift fasted, for sure. Definitely noticed a higher focus level. And obviously that can depend on the time of morning if you're doing a fasted morning lift, for example. There have been times where I've fasted all the way to lunch and done a lift then, and the focus and performance still feels pretty good then as well. But it, as we'll get into, it depends on also your other piece of nutrition throughout the day. So I would say benefits of doing that, like one, I would notice for sure. And what I've noticed for pretty much any client I've worked with or anybody I've anecdotally talked to about their workouts is the focus aspect of the fasted lifting.
Yeah. Because it almost puts you into a survival state in a way, maybe not that dramatic necessarily.
Right. A lot of people take that as a dramatic term for
Sure.
it, but it is a way to describe it though.
Right.
Because you are technically, again, you haven't eaten for however 10 plus hours or whatever it is. Like it's your body to a degree is like thinking, okay, like we got to lock in here a little bit, but I don't know.
And, I think, and we've talked about this in our supplement based physical vitality episodes, and specifically the pre-workout specific ones, where pre-workout, yes, absolutely can be beneficial, is beneficial for the plenty of reasons that we've talked about in the past. We've also noted that not everyone needs to just immediately jump into a pre-workout, whether that's a stim-free or a stimulated one. But if you are an experienced lifter and you do want to do fasted lifting, especially in the morning, that is where something like a stimulated pre-workout can very much come in handy. Whether it's a 150 milligram caffeine or a 300 milligram caffeine in the pre, like that's where something like that can be beneficial. I would say too, it's still very important to make sure you're getting enough water before the workout. Even if you're not going to eat breakfast, and we're talking about morning workouts here, even if you're not going to eat breakfast and you are going to be quote unquote fasted for the lift, don't neglect getting water and maybe even some electrolytes or hydration sticks, like the First Horn ones, for example. Don't neglect getting those things in still. That's still very important to get in. And you would still technically be fasted before the workout.
Yeah. Continuing on with the benefits of doing fasted, well, we covered fasted lifting on that end, but also fasted cardio. I would say that if you're talking about you haven't eaten for 2 to 3 plus hours with cardio, that can be really good because of the fact that you feel very light comparatively. You don't feel full.
Sure.
Which is really important. Like if I'm trying to go on a run and I feel full, I feel like dog shit the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just not a fun idea to be in. Now, I will say that a lot of people will argue with fasted cardio, especially in the morning. Some people argue that the fat oxidation is better. That also was one of the research things we were studying there too. That's not true.
Yeah.
If you do fed cardio, your fat oxidation just occurs later in the day.
Right.
And it ends up being the same total as fasted cardio.
Yeah.
If you do it in the morning.
They literally evened out.
Yes. So let me make that clear. Like that's just to discuss that. But some people also like doing it in the morning because again, that focus aspect's there too. And if fasted cardio is your thing that way, then great. That's your personal preference. Awesome. And I don't see an issue with that. Truthfully, I really don't. Even if you're getting up and doing a ruck. Now, if we talk about the downsides of fasted lifting, I would say there are some people that, depending on when you had dinner the night before and you're going to a morning workout, there are some people that would argue your energy levels can be affected, but it's not even just energy levels we're talking about because focus can play into that. It's more about the performance in the workout for a lot of people. They don't feel like they can push as much weight during the lift. And there were some people that are arguing that to be true, et cetera. And for the most part, another thing we were looking at again and have been through our own education as well before today, for that matter, already studying about this. The overall consistency with your training and with your diet, really, as long as you're consistent with those two things overall, you should be just fine performance-wise, weight-wise.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as like people would argue me doing a heavy 2 sets of incline bench or whatever when I'm fasted lifting at noon or something like that. They would argue, well, no way your performance is as good as it gets. Well, I mean, my weight's literally gone up week by week now for, I think it's been 12 to 16 plus weeks at this point in time.
I was going to say, it's been like at least all summer.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's anecdote from me.
Mhm,
Yes, for sure. But also the research could back that up to where it's like if your overall consistency with your diet especially and your intake of calories is good throughout the day in general, and you're hitting that either maintenance calories or maybe even surplus, depending if you're trying to put on weight on your lifts, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Now again, I don't recommend to most people, I really don't, to wait till noon. If like that is just like if I have to.
Yeah.
If I have to get up, client, and then go to Health Source, and then I'm going to the gym right after that.
Yeah.
That's like not an optimal scenario for me for the most part. If I can eat lunch and then go lift, that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
A lot of the times if I have that option.
Well,
So,
and truthfully, most people probably don't have the option to work out at noon. Most don't have a long enough break in between the morning and the afternoon parts of their workday to do something like that. Sticking on the morning workout downfalls of fasted, because you kind of spoke on your experience, so I'll kind of give a little bit of mine. So up until close to this last year, so like October of last year, I started a new job and I'm still there. Up until that point, I was always a morning workout person. And honestly, that would be my preference. So when I can, I still do that. But I would always go to the gym without food in me. It's just what I preferred to do. It worked for me. I still felt good through the workouts. Now, if the night before I'd eaten like an earlier dinner and then nothing after, I would certainly feel that towards the end of my workouts. And thankfully by then, theoretically, I had my heavy sets done, my big lifts done, and I was just into accessory work where even going lighter weights or shorter sets was still going to be beneficial for me. Maybe not as beneficial as I would want them to be, but the stimulus was still there. And there's still something to be said for that. But there would be times that towards the end of the workout, maybe the last two movements or something, where the energy levels just weren't quite there, from where they were. And so that started to become not a problem, but it started to become a thought in my head. It's like, maybe I should put down a little bit something. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but maybe I should be putting down a little something before the workouts for these morning ones. I never really did because I'm a very habitual person. So I stick to my habits. I stick to my routine type of thing. So I never really did. Now, this last year where I've been working out, as early as maybe noon or 1, but typically somewhere between 2 to 4 o'clock is when I'm starting workouts now most days, other than the weekends. By that point, I've got a little bit of food in me throughout the day because I bring some stuff with me for work because I'm pretty much nonstop. So I don't really have the time to eat an entire lunch or an entire meal or something like that. But by that point, I do have a little bit of food in me and the energy levels are pretty solid, and I don't feel slow or sluggish through the workout. There are times where I've eaten, a full lunch and then gone and worked out, and I don't enjoy that at all because of the reasons you outlined on the cardio side. And I'll get to that in a second as well, where I do feel slow, I do feel sluggish, I have long rest times because I'm just kind of like, blah, and so I would rather not feel that way. So typically I save the meal for after the workout. Now, if I'm doing cardio, I certainly do not put down a ton of food. Again, this is personal preference. Usually the only thing I put down is a scoop of Ultraformance from First Form. So that's like, 100 calories, I think. But it's super quick carbs, like super quick digesting. Down it, and then I'm out the door. And especially before runs, sometimes I'll do that before rucks, especially if I'm low on creatine because I mix in creatine with it. But I'll put that down. And then every once in a while, if I can feel myself tired already, or that, or the tiredness is already setting in from the day before a run, then I'll put down, a granola bar of some sort, Nature Valley bar or whatever it is. So a couple extra calories just to kind of...
No free ads.
Yeah, right. Even though I do love Nature Valley
Yes,
stuff. Who
100%.
doesn't, for that
Yep.
matter? Because I know that that'll help me, especially if I'm going for a longer run, and so my point is number one, you have to figure out what works for you. And number two, day to day, it could look different, whether you want to do fasted or not fasted for cardio or lifting or both, for that matter.
Yeah, I would say one, it's going to be that personal preference thing you just said. It's going to come down to what is your routine, what are your goals, and what can you get done for the workout, for example.
Yeah.
Again, talking to the average person who trains here for the most part. You know what I mean? Now, if you have performance goals when it comes to, let's say you're training for a half marathon, or more than that, especially, or an Ironman, or some very intense cardiovascular event of some sort, that's a whole different story. Your fueling will look entirely different.
Yes.
If you are just somebody who runs 3 to 5 miles or something like that a day, or less than that sometimes, or whatever it is, or 3 or 4 times a week, your fueling is going to look entirely different, because you're talking under an hour of a run, hypothetically, or so, give or take, depending on the person. But if you're training for your long run this week is 16 miles or something like that, you probably want to have like the glucose tablets and whatnot, or the Nature Valley bar sitting along with you, or the gels and whatnot. Of course, that should be pretty clear here on this scenario,
and during, by the way, too.
And during. Now, when we talk about the competitive lifting aspect of it, really the one we're thinking of lifting wise is bodybuilding in this scenario, because a lot of times the fueling gets talked about much more for the bodybuilding side of training, especially, and obviously powerlifting and other events, high rocks, CrossFit, whatever, you have to fuel for that as well. But we're talking
on that note, I don't think there's too many powerlifters that are missing meals.
Now, they are missing a lot of cardio sessions, but
oh yes,
things
and other movements besides their food.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. Oh man. Anyways, but onto the side of, so like let's say you are an aspiring bodybuilding athlete, or you're training for a show, whatever. Your fueling will also look a lot different than the average population. Yeah. Just like the people who are doing the cardiovascular events in this scenario will. So, and same thing if you're training for a powerlifting event or CrossFit or a high rocks event, whatever it is, doesn't matter. If you're training for one of those events, your fueling will look entirely different than a general weight loss client or general population muscle gain client, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Because a lot of the times it gets talked about for bodybuilding style clients, or again, it should be for bodybuilding style clients. Like a lot of them, they'll have the early morning workouts because it works best for them. They'll have the 5 or 6 a.m. start or whatever it is. And a lot of coaches will have them, eat like oatmeal, for example, to have, high glycemic carbs ready to go for the workout at 4 a.m. or whatever.
Right.
Now, a lot of the times when that coaching, it bleeds over into the average population, and they think they need to do that for a general weight loss client or a general just health client in general. It's like Susie or Jan doesn't necessarily need a feed at 4 a.m. She doesn't need to get up and crush oatmeal before her kids are even up or whatever, or something like that. Like, let her go lift at 6, come back, eat breakfast with the family, and she's fine. Make sure she gets a good dinner the night before. Right. Has plenty of carbs and fats to utilize from that dinner, especially if she's working out at 5 or 6 a.m. You still have plenty of carbs and fats to utilize at that point in time.
That's actually what I was going to say, is that
plenty.
That's why your dinner the night before, if you're especially if you're an early morning workout person like what you're talking about now, the dinner you have the night before is probably more important than the oatmeal or whatever you might be having before your 4 a.m. lift or your 5 a.m. lift.
And again, the thing is too, is that a lot of the times what's missed is that, because bro science with bodybuilding has actually been really positive in a lot of ways. Train hard as shit, get up, work hard, all that stuff. Like, that's great. I love that aspect of it. I do. The negatives have been this idea that there are windows to feeding. Realistically, if you want to maintain weight and your calorie need is 2,500 calories for that day, if you hit that at some point in time during the day, you will maintain energy, you will maintain your weight, all these different things that come along with it. Your body is smart enough to do that. Again, for a while, our bodies didn't have access to breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah,
and
right.
we did okay.
Right.
People would still maintain weight that way, etc. And so I think it's very, it's not dangerous. It's just
misleading,
not necessarily even dishonest. It's just something that you shouldn't say, this has to be done this way.
right?
You don't need to just parrot it and say you can only eat oatmeal at 4 a.m. if you want to go lift at 5 or 6 a.m.
Right.
or something like that, no matter who you are.
Right.
It's like, okay, let's hold on for a second here.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the client? Are you training them for a bodybuilding show? Well, then a lot of discipline is needed with that. So it's actually good for them to hit their windows like that a lot of the times. And the windows, it isn't because it's anabolic.
Right.
It's because of the fact that it comes with a lot of discipline. That's a great way to get your meals in throughout the day if that's what you're doing.
Right.
And your lift, if you're doing a bodybuilding show, might be an hour and a half, 2 hours plus.
It could be.
Sometimes two.
Could be.
So maybe you even need that more. But
Right.
if you're doing a 45-minute session or an hour-long session, you could go home and just get some more carbs during breakfast.
Yeah.
After that, just get 400 calories extra carbs or something like that, as you already were going to, is if you ate oatmeal at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Again, your body doesn't just in 10 hours eat through all your energy utilization at that point in time. That's not how it works.
Especially while you're sleeping.
Yeah. And again, sleeping is very important for natural body functions when it comes to losing fat and or gaining muscle for that matter too. Great. But you aren't just going to churn through all your body's energy stores just because you don't have oatmeal at 4 a.m. or something like that. That's just that's not realistic. And again, we're separating this from the people doing the events or training from the events. Because truthfully, even if you are training for an event, you could still, as long as you hit those calorie goals that are needed, whether you're in a cut or you're in a gaining phase or you're just maintaining, whatever it is, you could still hit those goals, even if you were to have to not have the oatmeal, but you were able to still get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You'd still be okay.
Right.
Your energy would still be fine. Everything would be fine on that. And again, that's the problem is we're talking about this research. It's the research overall leans toward if you are overall consistent with your workouts and your nutrition goals throughout the day and throughout the week, you will hit your goals. And that's just the truth.
And you could even add into that the sleep aspect too that you just mentioned.
Exactly. Yeah. And sleep, electrolytes, hydration, all of it, supplementation, even if you need it, if you're low on vitamin D's, vitamin C's, whatever you want to talk about. If you hit those, you'll be all right.
Right. Which that sounds like we just listed a lot of things. Number one, a lot of those can be combined, but it's also not very difficult and it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. It's funny because it feels like we say those types of things for every single one of these types of episodes where we're comparing one to the other. On some of the other subjects we've done, obviously there's more science involved, more hard facts like, hey, this is probably the right way to do this, based on this research or this research study or whatever it might be. But this really comes down to, it's one of those things where it's pretty much personal preference. It comes down to when you're able to get meals in. If one of those is at 4 a.m. to get some oatmeal in, okay, so be it. Just like you said. You have to do that though? No.
That's the key.
And that's the key. Do you have to eat at this time or that time or whatever? No. You don't have to. If you want to, if you feel like you get more production out of it from your workouts or your runs or your cardio in general, then by all means, do it. And we also outlined how there is benefits to both sides. There is benefits to getting some carbs down before you go for a 3-mile run or a 5-mile run or the 16 that you talked about. Again, that was kind of in the separate category, but there are certainly benefits to getting some carbs down before a cardio event or a cardio workout, I meant. So at the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference is really what we've outlined here.
What I'll definitely add on and kind of end on a little bit here too is what bothers me about this conversation is when I see trainers saying you have to do these smaller aspects. You have to have oatmeal at 4 a.m. You have to have this much at lunch and whatnot. And when you're telling clients you have to do these little things, all you need to tell clients that they need to do, they should be getting a good amount of steps for health. They should also be eating a proper diet. If they're trying to maintain weight, they need to eat calories along with that. If they're trying to gain, lose, Also eat calories in line with that. General topic. And then get a good amount of sleep, get a good amount of hydration, and supplementation if you need it. That's pretty much generalized.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do daily.
Yes.
Now, if you're talking that you have to have oatmeal at 4 a.m., that is false.
Correct.
That's not true. Because if they hit their calorie goals throughout the day, they will be okay.
Yeah.
1,000% they will be okay. Again, that would be, if that was the case, if you had to have oatmeal at 4 a.m., I would have lost weight over the last 4 months.
Yeah, right.
Because a lot of days, it's 11 or noon that I'm eating something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of days that happens. There are other days where it's like, I'll have a good, solid little breakfast snack at 9 a.m. or something like that. Right. I've still put on weight on my lifts for the last 3 to 4 months now. I've also ended up going up from about 245 to 260 in weight as well.
Yeah.
And I didn't have oatmeal at 4 a.m.
Right.
So the only approach as a trainer is not what you should do with the smaller things. Generalized, yes. Generalized topics like nutrition, sleep, and your exercise consistency, perfect.
Yeah.
Those need to happen. 100%, without a doubt, that needs to happen. Every bit of research supports the general topics. But if you hit the other things, if you hit those things, the specific things can be moved around client to client.
Yeah.
If that client really likes working out fasted, don't try to force them to work out fed.
Right.
Vice versa. If they like working out fed, don't try to force them to work out fasted.
Right.
Cool. Now, again, if you are a higher level athlete and you are training for events, you should follow your trainer's rules pretty much down to the T.
Absolutely.
In that scenario.
Absolutely.
Especially if they're a qualified enough one that you chose.
Sure.
Which should be obvious in this scenario.
If you're training for a bodybuilding show and Hani Rambod tells you to eat this at this time in this amount, then you should probably eat.
Exactly.
eat
Your
that.
Bumstead come up for the Olympia. You're not going to say, no, coach.
Right.
I'm doing it my way. Yeah.
Nah, I don't want to A straight.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. No, I'm not trying to win the Olympia, coach.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
That's, again, that's the point, is like generalize for general population is the key here. The nitty gritty can come to the higher level athletes.
Absolutely.
And you're good.
Yeah. 100%. All right, guys. That is episode 172. Now, at the end of all of our non-guest episodes, Money Mitch will ask us a Q&A question that's submitted by you guys, the listeners or the viewers. Now, we have a couple quick ways that we would like you guys to submit these questions to us. First, you can DM them to us on Instagram at untapped.llp. You can also DM them to us on Instagram individually, or you can text them to us if you have our numbers. I cannot talk all of a sudden.
Phlegm.
Yeah.
Phlegm
apparently.
action on the mic.
Yeah. That Fairlife is getting to me, I suppose. Next, you can email them to us. Our email is extricationfitness@gmail.com. Now, it's a mouthful, we know. So there's an email button in our Instagram and Facebook bio, so it makes it super easy for you. And finally, you can leave them in the comments of our social media posts. Now, we are very active on all 4 of the major platforms, those being Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. So you can go to any of those platforms on any of our posts and leave your questions in the comments. All of these questions get sent over to Money Mitch. He will then pick one out to ask at the end of the episode. Sometimes it pertains to the episode. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's about a past topic, a future topic. Can pretty much be about anything, guys. And there's one other note that I definitely forgot, and I was trying to go back to. Doesn't really matter.
Share the show.
Share the show, of course.
Rate the show.
Yeah. I don't know. There was something else there, but whatever. Money Mitch, what you got?
How do I lose weight without exercising or dieting? What are you laughing at? It's a valid question.
Oh man.
What's
run loads of gear.
What's so funny?
Go immediately.
This is a funny question.
Go immediately to Gabel's Guy in East St. Louis.
Yep.
And get the gear.
If you know, you know.
I was gonna say,
you're an OG Untapped fan if you know
right.
that one. Yeah,
That's right.
That's OG first vlog from us.
First
there.
vlog
Yeah.
at the old House of Pain, man. I miss that place so much.
That place is awesome.
I don't know
Yeah.
what we're laughing at. but
Coalition's
I
done a
mean,
good job though. In it.
Fantastic
That's
job. You kidding me?
phenomenal job. Those
Coalition's
boys. Shout out
sweet.
those boys. Those guys are
Be on the
awesome.
lookout for a coming vlog at Coalition
Oh, yeah.
for sure. Little side note there. How do I lose weight without exercising or dieting?
It's an honest question. What are you guys laughing at? Come on.
Shut up, Mitch.
Hey, you shut up.
Your hormones better be perfectly optimized. So get your blood work done at least. That's not exercising or dieting. make sure they're dialed in, and get a really active job.
Yeah. I was gonna
Because
say
it's not
like,
exercise, you know?
right.
Do Wurtz's job.
Yeah, exactly. Come merchandise for Grey Eagle.
Yeah, exactly.
We need people, so let me know.
But again, it's not exercise. You know, 10, 15,000 steps a day. Great.
Yeah.
I mean, not technically exercising.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, are we gonna count walking as exercising
Yes.
in this scenario?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, that counts. Yeah.
Well, then just don't eat any food ever. Yeah. Lay in bed. Your BMR.
That's dieting, though.
We'll start somewhere.
Yeah,
No, it's
true.
not.
That's, I mean, kind of. That's your plan. If you're planning to not eat any food, that's
Yeah,
technically a diet.
come on.
you know?
Mitch is really pissed me
Don't
off.
look at me like that. Hey, this is one of our esteemed viewers who
Yeah,
submitted
right.
this question.
Whoever submitted this question,
And-
scumbag,
Yeah.
is a dirt bag.
Oh my gosh.
we love our listeners.
And you
we
guys,
love you guys.
you guys are laughing. I mean, what an ungrateful crew over
Okay.
here. That's
Wow.
all I
Okay.
gotta say.
Okay.
We're getting lectured by our producer right
Okay,
now.
Mitchell. who pays your salary? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I didn't sign the contract.
Yeah, you didn't put the John Hancock on there.
Well, you know, you could force yourself to sneeze a lot, because if you're sneezing at 60 miles an hour, covering 50 feet in your car, let's just stick on the 60 miles an hour. That's a lot of force coming out.
Yeah.
So it's extra calories that you're burning by sneezing.
What about if you ride your bike to work?
No, dude.
Is that exercise?
If walking counts as exercising in this,
what if
riding
you
your
don't
bike,
have a car?
I mean, we could go. I mean,
you better work
bro,
online then.
most of the US is so fat that's so like even if you live in an urban city and like you could walk to a grocery store, most people are going to decide not to walk. They'll take the easier method.
Yeah,
I mean,
they'll Uber Eats it or something.
being real here, let's be real here. I mean, most people are going to take the easier path.
no,
out
for
there.
sure.
Yeah.
That's why I'm leaning toward the 500 milligrams a test route. That's because that's not diet or exercise. It's
Yeah.
It's true. Blood work and steroids.
I mean,
now, again, this is not hormonal health advice.
No.
By the way, let me clear this. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just saying my opinion.
John right now is just pissed at us with us saying this. John Fogarty, that is. I mean, if we're giving a real answer, that is the only real answer.
We got to bring him back on and ask this exact question and see what he thinks. See if it is literally like, you're going to have to go on testosterone.
Yeah, right. That is legitimately the only like real actual answer.
Yeah, other than like you changing like
and a job was a good point too.
Job is a good one.
Yeah, if you
That
get
is
an
a good
active job and you do hormones and blood work, then that might be your only option.
Yeah, you're a roofer or you're a plumber.
Yeah, I was
or
gonna say
you're-
construction
yeah.
work. Like you're
Because
essentially
again,
working out.
we're counting like purposely switching up walking instead of driving to the grocery store.
Correct.
That's like counting as exercise
Yeah,
in this scenario
sure.
because that's technically a lifestyle exercise change.
Correct.
Mhm.
So you can't add that in either. So it's got to be the job or the hormones and the blood work. Damn. See, we found a way to work around it.
We
though.
did. We
have
did.
an answer here we can actually give. Yeah.
Bullshit question.
It's-
but-
yeah.
Okay, here's the real
it's
answer.
The non-recommended way.
Yeah. Here's the real answer. Your question sucks. Get off your ass and get to the gym. Yeah, that's the real answer.
Let's go.
You're fat, you know it. Make a change, damn it.
You're a sloppy bastard.
Yeah. That's what it comes down to. Guys, share the show. Get off your ass. Get to the gym. That's episode 172. Until next time, peace and love, baby.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.